everybody, welcome back. Today we are having a little episode about meeting your needs. Now, the thing is that most of us, because we grew up in unconscious households, we are very out of touch with what it is that we actually need. And a lot of us have fear around actually expressing our needs because we fear that we're going to lose connection, or because we never had anybody show us how to regulate our emotions, we feel like those feelings are going to swallow us whole. Because if we just go towards our emotions, then we're just spinning out and spinning out and spinning out. And so the missing piece here is that the emotions are supposed to be designed to basically inform your forward movement. So we listen to the emotions so that we know what need is not being met, so that we know what needs to happen. And so that's kind of, it seems like a really simple step, but for those of us that have just maybe gotten to a place where we're understanding, we've been working with our feelings, we've been going towards our feelings, because just undoing that alone takes a lot of work. We live in a society that's very emotionally suppressed. So just even going towards your feelings alone when you've been told that certain emotions are not okay is its whole own thing. And then what happens is that the more that we're in touch with these feelings, sometimes we can start to feel powerless to these feelings because we're so aware of them, but then we don't know what to do with them. And so the missing step here is that we have to be asking the parts of us that are feeling those emotions, the vulnerable parts of us, what is it that we need? And then us as the central eye, which I was just talking about in my last video, which I'll link up above, as the central eye which we develop, we can listen to these parts of ourselves and find out, oh, that's what I need. And so that is a very, very crucial step. So if you're somebody who has been afraid of your emotions because you feel like they're going to swallow you whole, it's because nobody ever helped you to resolve that. It's just like, oh, either I'm going to just deny that that's how you feel, ignore that that's how you feel, or if I'm allowing you to feel that way, then maybe I'm not helping you to resolve it. So it feels like it's this big out of control thing. So we have to remind ourselves that it's about ultimately finding out what that part of us needs so that we can then take the action. And that is when we feel like we are stepping back into our power, where we feel like we have control over really what's happening to us because we're allowed to have boundaries. So that's a really important thing that I just wanted to come on and express today, that if you're somebody who struggles with even owning the fact that you have needs, it's because you weren't allowed to have boundaries, because you can't unneed something that you need. You're never going to be able to do that. You have to find a way to meet that need. And that's what the emotion is for. So if you're scared of your emotions and you feel like it's going to swallow you whole, it's not going to swallow you whole. It's just going to point you in the direction of what it is that you need. And if you feel like you are in your emotions, but you're just spinning, see what it is that the emotion's trying to tell you. I want to give you guys a story about this, like a tangible thing, okay, from personal experience. So, right, I'm somebody who struggled with addiction nearly my whole life. And basically what happened was I was on the phone with a friend of mine who's a psychotherapist, also into this kind of work. And I just, during the whole conversation, I'm saying, God, I feel so awful about this. I just feel like I can't control myself. And she's like, it's not about the substances. It's not about the substances. It's not about the substances. And when we got off the phone, I was feeling kind of sad because I felt really connected to her in that moment. And I went to reach for some weed, like I normally, feel that impulse to use. And I said, okay, so if it's not about the substances, then what is it about? It's about how I feel. Okay, how do I feel right now? I feel lonely and I feel desperate. Okay, well, if it's not about the feeling, like what is the feeling? Okay, so I'm just going to sit here and feel lonely and desperate? No, it's telling me that I need people. And so I had this moment, because what I had been doing for days and days before that was telling myself, tomorrow I'm going to go into my emotion. So for those of you who are into this kind of stuff, who are watching this, like, watch this part of yourself that's like, I'm just going to go feel my feelings. I'm going to go into it. But then you're not actually listening. Do you know why there were parts of me that were like, fuck no. No, what we're going to do is we're going to double down. We're going to make sure that you can't go into it tomorrow. Because it's like, are you dumb? You're not listening to us. We feel alone. We don't want to go sit in our room alone and feel more alone and just sit and fucking alone. It's like, no, the alone is telling us that we need people. So that's the missing piece. And it was like, oh, click, 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 click. So it might seem really simple to some of you, but it's really something that we have to relearn as a people who are growing up in this kind of society where we're all becoming more conscious together. And these things are things that we have to, it's not a linear process. Like we go back and we kind of relearn in pieces and steps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.